Three, two, one. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy. Welcome to another episode of the Lo-Fi Horror Guys growing on you live. Today is season 9. Season 9. We have the season 9 premiere with the amazing Paige from Fsanders2. We're going to be having F. Sanders joining us today. It's going to be sick. I cannot wait for this. It's going to be really, really cool. She is an awesome member of the horror community here. I cannot wait to have her jump on, and we're going to have a fun time, talk about how she got into, the horror community on here, horror movies in general, all sorts of fun. And then we're also going to be breaking down our 5 favorite horror movies from the last 5 years. I do have them written down, thank God. I had to check because I'm like, oh no, I might have forgotten those. So
soon.
Hi.
All right. Oh my Lord. Miss Sanders, how are you doing?
I am good. I'm so sorry for the people that came in for technical difficulties.
Yeah. That's it's one of those things where I try to do as much preparatory as I can, and then there's different things with like the application that changes, and so thank you very much for bearing with me. I appreciate it. Thank God.
Oh, you are more than welcome. Yes, thank God. I was like, oh my God, people are waiting to see me, and I'm like, and you, and you, and I'm like, I'm ruining it for everybody.
No, this is awesome. First of all, thank you so much for taking your time. I'm a huge fan of your page. I have been for a long time here, and this is really, really cool to be able to have this opportunity.
Thank you. I hope I don't let you down. I'm nervous. I'm like, what is he going to ask me? I mean, I have answers written down, but I don't. I'm so excited. I watch your interviews. This is my first interview. So yeah, I hope I don't let your audience down.
No, not at all. This is the cool the cool thing, this whole show started from me wanting to interview friends on here and, not really knowing how to like introduce the idea of being like, hey, as opposed to just like commenting on each other's stuff, like, how about we meet online? And so I was like, well, I can do some interviews and start meeting some friends and some pages that I'm a fan of. So now we're here, man.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I am all yours whenever you're ready.
Absolutely. So basically, I have a couple of icebreaker, just fun introductory questions that we'll start off with. The remainder of the interview is all about you and your page and just your interest in horror. And then I have one finale that I wrote just for you. So we're going to start off if you're all good. I'm
good. Let's do it.
All right. So first off, let me ask you, my wife and I do some traveling, okay? So if we came somewhere locally to you, what would be a must stop, eatery, a restaurant, just maybe a small hole in the wall, and what do we have to try?
Well, okay, so first of all, let me say I'm in Las Vegas. So for people that don't know, I'm in Las Vegas. So there are,
you're in California. I'm sorry.
no, Felicia in Las Vegas. So there are a lot of places to try, but I find that the restaurants off the strip are the the better ones to try. And let me start off by saying I'm not a big restaurant person. So I don't go out a lot to eat just because I just don't trust people with my food. That's just a personal thing. We'll talk about that in another video. But there is this one place called Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, and it's a chicken and waffle place. Yeah, I did try it. Now let me start off by saying it could be hit or miss some days. Like I've been there when it was good, and I was there when it was bad. But when it's good, it's really on. I mean, the chicken wings are awesome. The waffles are good. So I would suggest going. That would be the one place I would suggest going if you want to go someplace local. I don't really do a lot of the restaurants and the hotels. Number one, they're super expensive, and that's another thing that you could probably get the same thing off strip for a cheaper price, be more economical. But a lot of people don't know that. They're just there for the strip. So they don't want to take an Uber and explore the city. So that is one place I would probably recommend.
Man, Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. That is amazing. This is funny you bring this up because my wife and I got married in Las Vegas. And every morning, for every morning for breakfast, I had like it was my thing. I was destined. I had to have a Guinness, like a beer, and chicken and
Mhm.
waffles, no matter where we went.
That's
So,
what's up. That is
so,
what's up. Absolutely.
but I'm apparently messing up because I didn't stop at Lolo's.
That's off the strip. That's off the strip. So you would not find that unless you went off the
Man.
veered off the strip. But yeah,
Oh, I
that's
love
one
it.
place
That's
I
awesome.
recommend.
Sweet.
Right.
Yeah, and very ironic. I'm like, boy, oh boy, she just right up my alley.
Okay, so
I'm
yeah,
there.
so hopefully when you go, because like I say, it's hit or miss. But when you go, like if you come back to Vegas, we could go. I could take you and your wife there. We could go try it out,
Beautiful.
and then hopefully you'll like it.
Yeah, yeah. She was supposed to come back this last April before
Oh,
everything ended up, happening. So we were kind of
yeah.
making trips trying to make our way back there, and then all this shit happened.
I'm trying,
So
trying to
now
tell
we're
you, it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
nuts, nuts. So now let me ask you, as far as if you and I were making a horror movie, and I said,
Yes.
Felicia, look, I need you to come up with a villain for our movie. What kind of horror movie would we make? Are we gonna do
Well,
like a werewolf, maybe a giant insect? What are we gonna do?
well, I'm more akin to the slasher films, so we have to have a killer with a knife. I'm old school, so I'm definitely old school. Some kind of like, and it could be more than one killer. So, but yeah, I'm definitely
Ooh,
like, let's have a good old fashioned slasher, a good slasher, or a cheesy '80s slasher, a killer. So yeah, definitely about the slasher films. Definitely about the old school kind of villain with a twist. Maybe make
yeah,
it a woman.
okay,
Like there aren't a lot of
there you
slasher
go.
films with female killers, so make it about a
Yeah,
woman. And so I think
love it.
that would be my ultimate kind of slasher film. So like if I see that in a movie theater, like in a movie in the next coming year, and somebody was watching that, you better give me credit.
I know, I know. There's been a couple of times that I've asked that question, and then I start thinking because I get an answer that I'm like, oh man, maybe I should not include this just in case because that's really good.
Right, you know what
That's
I'm
one of
saying?
those
So
situations.
exactly. So what are your like I know you're supposed to interview me, but what are your favorite kind of movies? Like what
You
would you
know,
like?
my thing goes from like I've always loved anthologies. I think it's just this,
Nice.
the couple of smaller, different little stories and having them
Hmm.
be, shorter, but then being effective. And
Okay.
monster movies.
Monster
Growing up
movie.
in with Jaws and Creature from the Black Lagoon, and some of
Mm-hmm.
those. Anything that's an overgrown animal of some sort generally wins me over.
Oh, girl, yeah, well, yeah. Yeah,
Anything,
right. I like
just the
those
more
too.
ridiculous stuff is, or I mean, the critters here,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Critters.
it does
Yep,
it.
yep.
It
I
does
love
it.
critters.
So now, as far as where did your interest start? When you were younger, maybe the first horror movie you watched, and who kind of got you into horror?
Well, honestly, I'm gonna start. Well, I remember being a kid because back then we didn't have cable. Let's keep it real. I'm an older person, so there would be a lot of the Universal monsters like Dracula, Bela Lugosi. I
Yeah.
remember watching The Wolfman, The Mummy, and then I remember seeing Psycho on TV. Like that's when TV used to actually go off. Like they had they would play the
Right.
national anthem at the end. But I remember
Right.
seeing Psycho, and I was just like, I knew, even though I was like a kid, I knew that that lady wasn't supposed to die in the shower. It was kind of early. She seemed like she was a main character, and I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, that was different. But how I really got into horror, my mom took me to see Halloween, the first Halloween at the movie theater.
Oh
And I
wow.
remember, yeah, I was 10 years old. So, yeah, y'all can do the math and figure it out later. So I was 10 years old. And I remember as like this 10-year-old kid, walking to the theater, and I just remember seeing these people standing outside the theater, and I'm like, why are they standing outside? Why are they not thinking that they're waiting for another movie, like, you know, that 10-year-old kid mind. And so I remember somebody saying that it's really, really scary, and so that kind of played on me too. And then of course we were late, so we went in, and I think we went in on the part where he killed I can't think of her, Annie. He killed Annie. So I was just like, oh my God, what is this? So we watched the movie, and back in those days, you could stay and watch it again, and you wouldn't have to pay. So we stayed and watched it again because we missed the first part of it. I was traumatized. I remember when I got home, I asked my mom, no, I'm serious. I was traumatized. I asked my mom, I said, look, can I sleep with you? She was like, no, sleep in your own bed. And I was just like, well, you took me to see this. I had no, and I promise you, I did not watch Halloween again until I was in my late 20s. This was 10 years, I was 10 years old. I didn't watch it until and it affected me so bad that I ended up writing my master's thesis on it, and about the final girl. So that was kind of like the first time I was super, it really, really affected me. And also I remember I saw Phantasm at the drive-in when I was a kid.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, nice. So those round balls, like, you know, digging into your skull and the blood coming out. My mom again, like, what is wrong with you? And the ironic part is, I don't like horror movies. Like, I drag her to horror movies now with me.
Oh,
but
wow,
yeah,
okay.
so she was the one that really got me into horror movies. I don't know if she meant it intentionally or not, but yeah, that was like my first foray into horror. And you know, I've been in horror ever since then. And other movies too, but my friends didn't like horror. I was the only one, and I thought I was super weird because I did. It wasn't until really I got on Instagram and I saw that it was like this whole horror community. I knew nothing about horror conventions. I knew nothing, and I've been on Instagram maybe 8 years, and I had no idea about the community. I got introduced to so many different film genres, like the Italian film. I had no idea. I mean, I saw Suspiria when I was younger, but I didn't know it was a part of this specific Italian. Yeah, different. So, I mean, I just learned so much. But yeah, initially it was my mom that got me into horror, and I'm so grateful because I thought I was weird, but I guess I'm not.
No, not at all. How did you end up getting introduced into the horror community on Instagram?
Ironically, when I got onto Instagram, I was posting things about health and like fitness and like memes, and I remember, and he's probably gonna be mad at me for saying his name. Terrell88 followed me. Also, Jay Philly 73 followed me, and I was like, okay. So I was looking at their pages, and I was like, what is with all this horror stuff? Somebody else likes horror besides me, and so I followed them, and I just said, okay, I can. So most of their stuff was about horror, and I was like, okay, I can start posting stuff, really post stuff about me, because that was part of my like life that I really didn't talk about too much, because I didn't feel anybody really related to that. My family was like, why do you like horror so much? Why do you watch, are you, you know, like it's kind of like some people think if you watch horror, you're like worship the devil. And it's just like, no, why would you think I do that? Like, you know me. So I can't explain it. It's just like I get a rush, I get a release, you know, I can't explain it. So that was one of the, so when I first started, and then I started seeking out other people that were into the horror communities, and then, you know, and then on top of that, it was a subgenre. Like, I didn't know a lot of Black people like horror either. So, because growing up, it wasn't, when I would go into Blockbuster or whatever, like movie rental place, I didn't see a lot of Black people renting horror. So I was just like, I would be over there looking at, and I was like, okay, hey, you, okay, no, I'm gonna get horror. You know, see y'all, I'm gonna go to the horror section. You guys can go over there if I'm with my friends. So it was just nice to see first of all, a representation of Black people supporting horror that I had never had while I was growing up, and
Sure.
then just horror in general. So those two guys were really the guys that really kind of set the ball rolling as far as me discovering horror. And then, I see all these like women that love horror. I was just like, what is going on? This is awesome. Let me start following people. And it just grew from there. I mean, and the horror community here is so supportive. I mean, they support you 100%. There's no, animosity, jealousy, or anything. If you do something, they 100% support you. Now, every once in a while there may be some drama, but I don't deal with drama. I'm not a drama person. So yeah, it's just awesome. This community is awesome. Especially, and I'll just say this before we move on, especially during the Black Lives Matter movement last summer, it was just so many people speaking out in support of that. Just so, not to make it about racial injustice or anything like that, but it was just nice to see that these people that don't even know me, but just like we have this commonality of horror coming out and supporting me. It was just and supporting this movement.
Right.
It was awesome. So yeah, I just want to say that.
That is huge, and it's such a crucial true thing that you are saying with that too, because that's the one thing that I've noticed, and I guess I'm not a part of like a bunch of different other communities online, but everything just seems, so nice and so backed all the time. It's never something where there's, things are just matched with negativity and just, pushing BS that you would find off like Facebook or other, spots back in your face, I have absolutely had such a pleasure, and I've met some amazing people through this, so it's really, really cool. And a lot of people that have that same commonality, I suggest checking it out, because you never know who you're going to meet, and there's horror movies for all walks of life, so that's what's another great thing too. When I was younger, for instance, like I had different friends and different groups and things, and some of my Black friends were the ones that introduced me to like The People Under the Stairs, and something like Tales from the Hood. Like, People Under the Stairs is my shit.
Oh my God!
I love that movie. Like, it was just one of those things where it was like, you had, like through horror movies, I would have friends that, I'd sit next to in class, and I'd be like, I don't know you, I've never met you, and they're like, hey, have you ever seen this movie? And it's like, I have. Holy moly. So it is really, really cool. And this just kind of feels like it's an extension off of that. And I'm glad that you touched on that, because that is very, very true. And it's something I love about this community myself.
And I was going to say, and one thing is you don't have to love the same movies. We can agree to disagree. Yeah. Like, I never got into the whole thing where everybody has to like everything. Yeah, you may like this movie. Okay, I don't. It's cool. Let's keep it moving. I don't deal with the negative comments. If I don't like a movie that you like, it's fine. Like, I'm gonna say this, and people probably say something. I don't really care for The Shining. It's okay, but I think it's overrated.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And, comments will probably start coming. But I mean, and part of that comes from, part of that comes from, I used to watch it so much as a kid. It used to be on cable all the time, and I watched it so much. So I guess because I grew up with it so much, and now it's kind of like cult status, and I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it, but it's okay. It's okay if you love it. We can agree to disagree. So yeah.
Yeah, you can still remain to have that commonality, but like, look, man, this other movie is a lot better than that one, so we'll just leave it there.
And it's all good.
Right, beautiful. So you had touched on your local movie theaters, and I just wanted to ask about, when you were coming up, like your local video rental shops, and what were some of those like, and what were some movies that you like to pick up for the weekends, maybe like a comfort food movie?
Well, there was one particular, and it's funny that you asked that, because I was I had went on Facebook yesterday because I could not think of the neighborhood video. I remember the video store, but I couldn't think of the name of it. And I went on Facebook to ask my friends that, and they told me that it was this movie store. And I'm from Cleveland. I'm originally from Cleveland Heights, Ohio. So it was this
Okay.
Cleveland Heights. So it was this one video store that I would go to every weekend. I would walk to it. It's called VidStar. It was like a mom and pop kind of video store. I loved it. I
Yeah,
loved it.
the
And
best.
that's what really had me, like, got me going too, as far as horror. And that's when you would just look at the cover and just make a decision. We didn't have the trailers, the screaming, and all that stuff today. And, I know we'll probably talk about that. But it was Halloween, of course. I'll probably mention this more than one. My absolute favorite film of all time. I'm wearing a T-shirt now, but
Nice.
absolute favorite
Nice.
movie of all time. But that would be one. The Howling. I love The Howling. That was one of my go-to movies growing up. I'm trying to think. Friday the 13th. Like this. Like if I had to do, like, slashers were my thing. I was trying to, I remember when I would read the back of it, I was trying to figure out, is this a slasher movie? Is this a movie with the killer? And then Halloween Part 2. So I love that store. The only downside was they only had a few copies. So
All
once
right.
it was
All right.
gone, you would have to wait until next week. So when Blockbuster came, I remember when Blockbuster first opened, and I went in, I was just like, ooh, it's so bright in here. Like, oh my God, wow. And they have like 15 copies of one movie. I can actually rent it. I don't have to, they don't run out of things, except for it was something really, really
Right.
popular. So, I mean,
Right.
I did go to Blockbuster, but I did try to, go to that mom and pop because, even though I had at that time, I didn't know Blockbuster was this conglomerate thing, but
Right.
I was trying to support this local video store because it had been there for years. It's not there anymore, but it had been there for years. And I just, and I knew the people there when I would come in. Hey, Felicia. I'm like, hey, just looking around. And honestly, I would stay in that store for about an hour, just walking around, pick up something, read it, put it back, go back, look at something else, pick it back up, put it down, go look. And then I'm like, let me get it. Because obviously I wanted to keep going back. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it was like that type of video store. I loved it. It was just like it was a small store, but for some reason it was large. It was
Okay.
large. Yeah,
Now,
so yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
with the more local video shops, I don't know if you ever, this, just you bringing this up made me think of, being, in those days and having those. I always remember, like, thinking, like, who is the other bastard who has these other copies? Like, who are these people? Like,
Right,
like,
right,
like,
right,
who are they? Like, why
right.
why didn't they rent this in front of me? So I'm like, oh, okay, that guy's kind of cool. Or that lady looks like she's, bitch. But I don't know, for some reason you mentioned that, it brought me back to this time where, like, I used to wonder, I'm picking up a video and I'm like, man, I wonder who actually got this. Damn it, I wish I would have gotten it.
Right, exactly. And that's true. And there would be people in the horror section, and then this is the part that would piss me off. I would look at a movie and I would read it, I would put it back, and then as soon as I walk away,
They
another
pick it
person
up.
would, like, pick it up and take it. And I'm like,
Oh
so
my God.
I'm like, oh man, so I can't get it. There's only one copy, so I can't rent it
Right.
now. So yeah, that would happen to me all the time, and it made me say, I just should get it. And if like, if I don't like it, so be it. But whatever. I
Oh
don't know.
man, that is so funny. Holy shit. I haven't thought of something like that's just something kids nowadays won't understand. Like, they won't be able to
No,
understand that struggle. Like, that's
no.
such a depressing feeling.
And let me ask
I
you this:
just had it.
I would. Yeah, I would pick three movies. I don't know. Three was the magic number. I would always give three movies. It couldn't be
Hmm.
two. Couldn't be four. It had to be three. That was like
Yep.
my thing. I don't know why I always did that. I was
I
thinking
think it
I
was
could have
like
read it
five
like,
felt like too many. It was, you're
yeah,
holding on to too much. Because
yeah,
I feel like it was the same way with me. I think I did the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, that was just so weird. It was just like three or nothing, or I couldn't do it. So it was that was one of the things
Right.
that was weird about me too. So I don't know. Yeah.
Love it, love it. All right, you hit on artwork. Going through
Yes.
a video store here. So I wanted to ask you, give us one example of a good horror movie with bad artwork.
Good. Okay, so I was looking through my little selection, and I picked out one. So
Awesome.
okay, and I don't know if people would think this movie is good. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, but
Sure.
Darkness Falls. I love
Oh
this
yeah,
movie.
okay. It's been a long
I
time since
mean,
I've seen that. I remember liking
yeah.
it.
I love it. It's about the Tooth Fairy, so let's just start off with that, so we can, it's not going to be it's not going to be like a John Carpenter masterpiece. Let's start there. But this cover art is so not good, and I was just thinking, and it almost makes me not want to watch it. But then when I watched it, I was pleasantly surprised. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, this is pretty good. I wish they would make it on Blu-ray because I want it on Blu-ray. Oh, I have one more. I know you said one, but I can't never do one.
that's
No One
I love
Lives.
it.
No One Lives. I will
I've
always
never seen
promote
that.
this movie. It is so good. The premise is, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, this movie is really, really good. The artwork does not do it justice. I mean, yeah, this guy is badass in the movie, but yeah, it doesn't, this cover art doesn't do justice, but that's
Okay,
another one. No One Lives. So those two.
I love
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, I've never seen that before. I don't know if I've even ever heard of it. Who is the cat that's on the cover there?
This is Luke Evans. He was
Oh,
I'm trying to think because he was in Beauty and the Beast, a live action movie. That's the only movie I can think of. He was in a couple other things, but this is such a good horror movie. So I would
hmm.
genuinely
Wow.
suggest this if you have not seen it. If you don't like it, don't come and cuss me out. But I'm just saying I I love that movie.
Yeah, yeah, nice, nice. I like it. Okay, so on the opposite end there, what is an example of a bad movie with great cover art? Just drew you in for your Saturday night and ruined your
Okay.
weekend.
Okay, because that was an easier one. I picked three, but I'll pick a more recent one. What is this called?
Oh,
Silent
Silent
Madness. It
Madness.
just came out on video, like I don't even, Video Syndrome. I ordered this because I thought the artwork is so good. I mean, but the movie, I hate to say movies are bad. It just didn't do it for me.
Oh
Somebody said
no.
shit cover. Oh my God. Somebody said, I'm looking at the comments, somebody said shit cover. I love this
I
cover.
think they were talking about No One Lives.
Oh, no one is okay. Yeah, this one is gosh, cruel. No, but yeah, this kind of drew me in because I was thinking it was like a slasher film, and it is.
Hmm.
But man, oh, this is yeah. Okay, that
Man,
one,
that's a
and
bummer.
then that's it, and this one. The good things that devils do. I love a good horror, like a good Halloween kind of. And I thought this was a pretty decent cover, but the
Hmm.
movie, oh, it is
Didn't
tragic.
do it.
Yeah, not didn't do it for me. And I hate that because it's from an independent film company, and I can't think of the name of them. And I don't want to put them on blast either because I'm not saying good things. But
Right, right.
I love this like little pumpkin thing, and the because it was just around Halloween. But yeah. Oh, I have one more
Yeah.
because yeah. Um, Grandmother's House. I
Oh,
loved it.
Grandmother's
Did you
house.
see that?
Okay.
Yeah. Did
I
you see?
have not. No, I've gone
Yeah.
back and forth on buying that one because I think it was like Vinegar Syndrome put it out, right?
Yeah, I think so, and it's one of them, and I just didn't feel it. It didn't work for me. I mean, maybe I
Okay.
only watched it once. Maybe I need to. You know how sometimes you'll watch a movie two or three times before, and I'll
Yeah.
give a good example for that. The Babadook was one. I didn't initially like that movie, but after watching it a couple times, it's a little bit better. But yeah, Grandmother's House. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe even selling this one. I don't
Uh,
know.
I've been thinking about buying it, so I'll hit you up.
Okay, we'll talk later. Okay, yeah, so those are the ones that came to mind. Yeah, and one other one I wanted to mention as far as a bad cover art. I don't have it, but bad cover art, but a pretty good movie is Night of the Demons, the original cover with with looking at a monster.
Yeah.
And I remember when I rented that, and I said, oh my God, I don't know if this is going to be any good. That movie was so good. It was awesome. It was really awesome. Good. And on top of that, the black character lives at the end. So that was the first time, I think that was the first time I had ever seen a horror movie where the black character lived at the end. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, that was one of the that was another one. I didn't particularly care for that because the new cover art is better. I think Shout Factory did it, and it looks a lot better. But yeah, the original cover art, I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but it turned out to be such a good movie. So yeah.
Love it. Now, as far as your collection, where did that start? Where did it, was it with movies and DVDs or VHS, or, was it posters? How did that start?
Well, it started with VHS, and ironically, I don't have any of them because that's a long story. But yeah, I don't have any of the VHS. They got stolen, so that's why. Oh no! And yeah, they got stolen from me. So yeah, that's why. But it started. Yeah, no, God damn it. But and they're probably like But anyway, so yeah, but yeah, it started with VHS, and then it slowly went to DVD. I still have a lot of DVDs now, but then I'm starting to upgrade to Blu-rays. And so yeah, so it was VHS, DVD, and now Blu-rays. I still have a lot. I still have a lot of DVDs. Most of those are not horror because the horror ones I've upgraded to Blu-ray. But yeah, it started out with definitely VHS. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so as far as, we'll even just say, touching on today, what is a favorite piece of yours in your collection that you have?
Well, I have first of all, let me start with, sorry, I just went off screen. I just realized I just went off screen to grab it, but I'm not a big, I'm not a big collector, but definitely my Michael Myers mask from Trick or Treat Studios. This is one of my. I love it. I love it so much that I actually have two.
Oh shit!
I don't know. Yeah. So I love this. I wear it occasionally. Not to. It's weird looking at this, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, because you can see the darkest eyes, the devils, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. Yeah,
blackest eyes. There they are.
The devil's eyes. Yeah, I don't wear it a lot, but I wear it, and it's making the picture look weird. But I'll wear it every once in a while. But yeah, that was definitely one of the things that I wanted for a really, really long time. And I just kept saying, well, maybe I should buy it. I don't know. And then finally I just bought it. And I loved it. Yeah. I have the 2018 2 mask over there, but that's not my prized possession. But yeah, definitely the Michael Myers mask, because he's my favorite like horror villain, period. Just period.
Okay. What did you think of the 2018 one? You just mentioned that.
I personally liked it. I know a lot of people didn't. They didn't. It got dragged, but I liked it. I was one of the few people that liked it. Was it good? Was it as good as part 2? I don't know. I kind of conflicted about that. I didn't think it was. I didn't know. I didn't.
Well, I loved it, but.
Oh, did you? Oh, yay! Did you think it was better than the part 2?
No, not the original. I think it was kind of one of those things with like Child's Play, where if I, was kind of thinking of it as its own, separate thing, and they went off the original. I mean, I guess that's fine, and I think they did a really, really good job. I do too. The original, like Halloween 2, is one of my favorite horror movies ever. So it's kind of hard to dismiss that, because I love that movie.
Yeah, I love it too. So yeah, I agree with you. It's really hard to say if and it's so ingrained in me because it's such a part of me, of my, my teenage years. So it's really hard for me to say, is it better than the part 2? I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, yes, this is a good sequel. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm going to look at the new Halloween movies as their own standalone trilogy. You know, I mean, I don't know. And I I thought it's the same with the the Child's Play remake, which I have here. I was gonna name that somewhere else, but I'll just bring it up here. I thought this was pretty good.
Okay.
I
I
don't think.
loved it, honestly. I did.
I didn't think it was like people were
A
ragging
lot of
on
hate.
it. Yeah, and everybody's entitled to their decision, you know, their own
Right.
decisions. But I thought that was good. I mean, is it as good as the original? No, no. The Brad Dourif will always be the Chucky voice. But I thought Mark
Yeah.
Hamill did a good job of making it his own. You know, I don't have a problem with it. Actually, it was in my top movies of that year. I can't remember, was it 2019 or 2018, but it was in my top. I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent reboot, remake. I don't know if it's, you know, it's so different. I don't know what they're calling it now, remake, reboot, whatever. But I
Right.
thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay.
totally
Okay. And I agree. I thought it was good as well. I mean, there was moments where my wife and I were watching it, and like I looked over and I'm like, I kind of feel bad for Chucky right now. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, why? I feel like I'm about to shed a tear over this dude. And like, it was weird. What
Yes.
the fuck?
I think yeah, he was sympathetic. He was doing it. He was doing it for the love of, you
The
know,
kid.
for the love of the kid, you know, and it just
Yeah.
wasn't. That's what drew me in. And it wasn't like the original Chucky, where the serial killer is ingrained in a doll and he's trying to like use the kid to come back to life. It wasn't like
Right.
that. It was a totally different story. So I dug it. I was feeling it. Yeah.
So let me ask, if you could have any three, we're going to go on threes here, any three
Okay.
props from a horror movie ever,
Yeah.
what
Righteously,
would you
righteously.
want? What would you want in your collection?
No, no, number one, and I know this is weird. Number one, I would want Dr. Loomis's coat from the original Halloween.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think he wore that coat in every movie that he was in. So that's number one. I'm weird. So I agree, that's the weird one. I've always wanted that coat. So I want his like little
Damn.
brown coat. The second would be
Great.
the original Freddy's glove from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, I
Oh,
love that
okay.
movie, so I want that glove. And then the third, that's a hard one. The third would probably be, oh, I know, Carrie's dress, which when it was all like
Oh man.
dripped and all that, when she was going off at the end of Carrie, I probably would want that dress because I mean that's iconic. You know that
Yeah.
it gets no better than that. So those are probably be the three things that I want.
I wonder if that thing is still around, like just being soaked in all like whatever that fake blood
The blood
was.
and all that. I don't know, but that would be an awesome thing to have in a horror collection. I
Sure
think
would.
that dress is iconic. Yeah.
You know, it's one thing also like within the horror community here too is it's kind of hard because a lot of times I feel enabled. Like, you know, I tell myself, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to hold on for a little while and I'm not going to buy anything. And then next thing I know, some random ass company releases I Know What You Did Last Summer Blu-ray fucking set that I'm like, God damn it, I got to have it. And I don't know why.
I saw that. I know what you mean. I had to resist temptation. I was like, I have both of those movies. Do I really need? And I didn't like the other one. So do I really need to get it?
Oh,
And
my
I kept
God.
saying, and then you know what? And that's the thing with the movies that I got. You know, it's so much hype around movies. You see people. Silent Madness, for one thing. Like when that came out, everybody's like, I'm getting it, I got it. They're showing it, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. And my general rule now is to watch something, like if I can stream it, if I've never seen it, if I can stream it, to watch it, to see if I like it before I buy it. Silent Madness was a blind buy. And I'm so pissed at myself because I broke my own rule. And I mean, yeah, it's cool. It has the cover, it has the 3D glasses and all of that. But was it worth it? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. That's just my personal opinion. If you like, for the people that are watching, if you like Silent Madness, it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
But it
Right.
just didn't
Yeah,
do
of
it
course.
it just didn't do it for me. So yeah, and that's one thing that I noticed. on Instagram, there will be so much hype around a particular product. And I know me, I feed into that sometimes. I'll let it get in my head, and then I'll buy it, and then I'm like, oh man, did I really need to do that? So yeah, I mean, well, the Friday the 13th box set. I mean, yes, I wanted to buy that because I could not find, if I could have found Jason X, I probably wouldn't have bought it. Because honestly, I had all the other movies, and the other one. I can't remember but it was one that was two that I didn't have. All the other ones I had. If I could have found that Jason X movie, that was the one that I really, really wanted. And I could never find it. And so that was the only reason why I spent almost $200 on a box set for a movie. One movie. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, is it worth it? I don't know. But I do have Jason X, so there you go.
Oh my God. It's kind of funny too, because I feel like most people would say that about like part 3 or like part 6 or something, like a favorite, but Jason X, boy, that's an interesting topic.
I know. That was so the reason why I'm making a big deal about Jason X is for my master's thesis, I wrote it on the final girl from Jason X and Halloween. So I was comparing the two. So that's why Jason X holds such a personal thing for me. So that's why I was looking. Yeah, I know what you say. Yeah, I guess people are like, why does she care about Jason X? That's almost like buying a Halloween box set for Halloween Resurrection. By the way, this is one of my favorite movies. Like, it's a guilty pleasure. I love that movie. I know people hate it. I will defend Busta Rhymes to the end.
Okay. I was gonna say, I think one of the only things I liked about that movie was Busta Rhymes. Not to say it was the worst by any means, but I love seeing. You put Busta Rhymes in something, or LL Cool J in Deep Blue Sea. Somebody wants to bring up hating on that movie. It's not going to happen around me.
Not going to happen.
No way. No way. I can still sing the whole theme song for probably the rest of my life. All right. I got to keep on moving. I can't get into that. So for your personal interest, so, just kind of dig into a little bit of that. I wanted to break down 3 different subgenres of horror and ask what a favorite in each subgenre would be. So for the first one, let's break down a monster movie. What would be a favorite monster movie of yours?
Hands down, The Thing, with John Carpenter's The Thing. That is my absolute favorite monster movie. I mean, how could I not say that? How could I not say? I mean, I'm a John, like my favorite horror movies. My first 3 are John Carpenter movies. So, yeah, I love that film. I remember when I saw it when I was back in the 80s when it came out, and I was thinking that this movie is awesome. First of all, it has Kurt Russell, enough said, and being badass. And I just thought the concept was so interesting. You just didn't know who was taking over somebody's body and they weren't themselves, so you trusted no one. And I thought it was just an ingenious film. I mean, well done, sci-fi horror. And the ending was so, it left you thinking like, one of those guys could be the Thing. You don't know, maybe it just was an ambiguous ending. So I love that movie. That's one of my favorite horror movies. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. The funny thing about that too is it was something actually this last year that I had realized about that was so many, different movies, like for whatever reason, movies that I watch, that take place in a snow or like a winter setting. So many times, it's like in the summer and somebody brings up, a certain movie. I'm like, no, that's in the winter. The Thing is one of those movies where it's like, it can be the hottest day in the summer. I don't care. I will watch that movie any day. That movie is so amazing.
That's right.
So I totally agree. It's such a great movie. So now you brought up slashers. I'm assuming Halloween.
Of course, Halloween. Of course, that's my favorite movie ever. My favorite movie ever. Of course, it ties back into that being, I saw it at the theater with my mom, and it scared the crap out of me. I wrote a paper on it. So that, without a doubt, classic. If I had to pick a second one, I would probably pick Black Christmas. I mean, it's kind of
Dude, that movie is so good.
I
And
mean, yeah.
one that's legitimately creepy as shit. That movie is
Yeah. And the
skin
fact,
tingling.
and tell me, why did they leave her in the house again? Like, why was she left in the house at the end? Like, why didn't they take
Right.
her to a hospital? Like that, and the killers upstairs in the, oh, I'm sorry, if somebody's never seen it, I'm sorry, spoiler alert. And the guys upstairs in the attic, and it's just like, it's so scary. I legitimately I was so scared when I saw that movie. So that would probably be like another slasher film that I would like if I didn't have to pick Halloween. But yeah, definitely
Okay.
Black Christmas.
Okay.
And
All
I'm
right.
so glad that it finally got the due, it's due, because for a long time it just didn't. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad it was finally, recognized as a slasher film, like a
Yep,
great slasher film.
for sure. What about Anthology?
Okay, so Trick or Treat.
Oh
Trick
yeah, of
is one
course.
of my favorite anthology films. If I had to pick another one, probably Tales from the Dark Side. But Trick or Treat is definitely one of my favorite. Halloween is my favorite holiday, so anything that probably has a Halloween theme, except for that movie, that's the Good Things That Devils Do, that movie. But anyway, Trick or Treat, it has like, if it wasn't for Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, Sam would definitely be my favorite, like, kind of horror icon. He's a child,
Mhm.
like a monster child. I don't know what he is. Like, he's just the cutest little thing ever, but he's
Right.
deadly as hell. He will
Right.
kill you if you disrespect Halloween. So, I mean, definitely Trick or Treat is my favorite. And and I was trying to think if there's another one. Not that I can think of offhand, but yeah, probably Tales from, like I said, Tales from the Dark Side also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice,
hmm
nice. I love it.
hmm
With all the horror movies that you've watched over the years, all the stuff, all the some of the grimier, maybe disgusting scenes. What are three scenes in horror that are forever ingrained in your brain? Whether it's just
Okay.
scary, unforgivable.
Okay. So I was thinking about that. One of the I guess it's, and this goes to show that people care more about animals than people. Cannonball Holocaust, where the guy cuts the throat of that giant turtle. I don't know if you like I guess it's a turtle, and you can just hear the turtle making this loud noise as he's basically having his throat cut. That stayed with me for days. So Cannonball Holocaust, by the way, I don't ever want to see that movie again. Just saying. It just didn't do it for me. I'm good. I've never, so I
Right.
don't, so that's the one thing about me. I don't necessarily, I'm not a gore hound. So I've never seen a Serbian film. Don't want to see it.
Oh
Never.
man.
Have you seen it?
No, no,
Oh, okay. I
that's
don't want to see it. And I haven't seen the Human Centipede either. I'm just like, ugh. Okay. So that was one. Then in the second one would be in The Prowler, when the guy is stabbed in the head and his eyes turn white. That
oh
freaks me
yeah.
out so bad. Like, I thought about that. That's another one I thought about for days. I was like, oh my God, like his eyes were so creepy. So that was another one. And I can never say the name of this film. I think it's Anthropohagus or something. It's like
Oh yeah.
what's what I'm talking about. Well, at the
Yep.
end, the guy has his guts and he's like eating his guts at the end of that film. I was like, oh, and he's basically eating his guts and he's looking up at the people, and I lost it. I said, I'll never want to watch that movie again. So, yeah, those are
Oh
the
my
three
God.
things that stick out to me. I was just like, ugh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, those are the
I've never seen the last one, but Cannibal
three. Yeah,
Holocaust for sure.
yeah.
I can agree on that being, it's one thing where, like, you mentioned a Serbian film and I reacted the way I did because when I had initially heard that it was like there was a scene with abuse on like a newborn child, like
Yes.
there's limits that me as a horror fan, and I guess whatever, I don't want this to seem judgy, but I
hmm
don't really know why like something has to go to that extent. When there's like certain shit you can go and you can do things that are pretty messed up. Um,
Right.
but bringing in infants and bringing in children, I don't mess with that. It's
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
something that that needs to be in my collection by any means. So I mean, well,
Yeah.
whatever.
And
But
to each their own. And you know,
yeah,
along those lines, there are also like those rape kind of films,
yeah,
like I
oh
Spit in
yeah.
Your Grave. I've never seen that film either.
Hmm.
Or The Last House on the Left. I keep hearing that it's not that bad, but I don't know. It's just certain films that I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to see that, you know. So
Right,
yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree. You know, next I wanted to get into, you know, horror movie remakes. You had mentioned
Yes.
earlier with Child's Play. You know, maybe
Hmm.
we'll dig into a couple others. You know, notoriously
Hmm.
they're kind of hated on, but there's also actually some really good ones. So, do you
Hmm.
have a
Hmm.
couple in mind that you wanted to bring up?
Yes, actually, where is it? I have it somewhere because I put it. I grabbed a couple real quick. Just
Nice.
so did I bring it here? Oh yeah. Oh, I think it's over here. Oh, sorry, stuff is falling down. Sorry. Yeah. I'm like, sorry, stuff is falling down. I mean, Evil Dead. That's the one I was gonna say. I don't.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought I had it, but I guess I put it back up. But yeah, Evil Dead is one of my favorite remakes. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of the original. I just couldn't get
Oh
into it.
really? Okay.
Yeah, I just was, I mean, it was, I don't know if it was just too cartoony or something. I mean, it's okay. I like part two better than part one. But yeah,
Hmm.
so when I went to see I saw the remake in the theater, I had no expectations because I was basing it on the original. I left out of that movie like, oh my God, that movie was so good. It was
Hmm.
so awesome. Loved it, bought it
Yeah.
immediately. When I don't know what it was about it, but I think it was just very well done. Yes, it has a lot of blood at the end. That for some reason that didn't bother me. I don't know.
Right.
That was weird. But yeah, I that's one of my favorites. Probably, I was trying to think. My Bloody Valentine, the remake is
Oh
good
yeah.
in my opinion. I know not as good as the original. I like the original better, but I thought that was a pretty decent remake. Of course, we talked about Child's Play. I thought that was good. I'm trying to think. Is there any other? The Crazies. I thought that was a
Oh
pretty good
yeah.
remake. The
I,
Crazies was
that was
pretty
better
good.
than the original one. I don't know if
Yeah. I've never
some
seen
people
the
hate that,
original,
but
so
oof,
I can't compare. But
yeah.
yeah, I thought the Crazies was pretty good. Let me see. Is there anything else? No, I can't think of anything. Right. I was looking at my collection to see. Oh, I don't know if Friday the 13th was a remake, but I didn't think it was that bad. You know,
Yeah,
is
I
it
agree.
as good as the original? Absolutely not. But I still think as a movie, and that movie got dragged so much. So I thought
Yeah.
it was good. But one movie that is horrible will be a Nightmare on Elm Street remake. That just was
Ugh.
such a
You know, and
no.
such a bummer too, because if you've ever seen other movies with the guy who plays Freddy in that movie, his name's Jackie Earl
Mhm.
Haley. He's
Yeah.
just naturally a creepy, disgusting dude, and like he would have been perfect for that part. Like it's if they ever did, I would really hope that they'd give him another chance because I feel like they would do a really or he would do a good job with it. But man, that's the only movie ever I've actually walked out of the theater for.
Really?
Ever.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Yeah.
heartbroken.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. Yeah. There's no redemption in that movie
Right.
whatsoever. And you know, I was trying to like give it a chance and I just couldn't do it. Yeah, that was pretty awful.
Well,
Yeah, but those,
go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go
No,
ahead.
no, I'm done. Oh,
All
I
right.
was done.
I was just gonna say you had mentioned you said Redemption. What about
Mhm.
did you ever watch the Hills Have Eyes remake?
I did. I forgot about that. Yes. I don't think that was good. I
That
totally
movie was
forgot about that.
so good, and
Oh,
you know
yes.
that's like one of the ones too where it touched on like the whole kind of rape, you know, rape revenge type thing. But I think what it was it was just through the whole movie, like you had you had no faith in this like puny little dude that he was going to do anything, and at the end you're like, come, please keep going, like do it. You know, you're like, oh my god, what is happening? Like Oh man, I love that movie. Love that
Yeah,
movie.
that was a good movie. That's a good one too. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, The
Very good
Hills
one.
Have Eyes. I
We
totally
have to check
forgot.
that one
Yeah.
out again. It's
I
been a
have
minute.
to. You know what? I was gonna order it from Best Buy and it was sold out. So there you go.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
good. All
Mm-mm.
right,
Get on it,
next.
Best
So
Buy.
we're gonna break down our favorite 5
Okay.
movies from the last 5 years. So one from each year, 2016 through 2020. And I was gonna
Okay.
let you start with what was your favorite of 2016?
Oh my God. This was 2016 out of all the years, 2016 was the hardest to pick because to me, out of the 2010s, to me, that was my favorite horror year.
Oh,
So
wow.
I it's a tie.
Okay.
Surprisingly, it's a
Fair
tie.
enough. Fair enough.
Okay, because I know I'm like, you're not, you don't, I know you're like, you don't follow the rules, Felicia. At all. Didn't you say one?
I
Why do
like
you
it.
have to do like, okay, I'm trying to look for the other one and maybe, so my two ties for number one in 2016, Hush and Don't Breathe. These
Ah,
are
nice.
my two absolute favorite movies of 2016. I love these movies for different reasons. This was just such a good home invasion movie. I
Hmm.
mean, the fact that she's deaf
Right.
and she's able to fight back her attacker. And this was such an ingenious idea. The guy is blind. You can't make a sound. He is, oh my God, two of my best, two best. I couldn't
I
pick between the two. What about
I
you?
I picked Don't Breathe as well. That was absolutely my favorite. I think his name's is it Fide Alvarez, who's the
Yes,
director. He did the
yes,
Evil
yes,
Dead remake as well.
yes. There you go.
Dude, that movie was so good. And like you're saying, I mean, it was just one of those things where it was like, God, it's such a simple idea, but so effective. And
And
like
I was,
some of the
yeah.
kills and some of the things that happen in that movie, I was like, holy shit, this is terrible.
I loved it. I thought it was such, I mean, the fact that you just couldn't even like I can't think of the girl that's in the movie, but this right there, that was so ingenious to put that on the cover. I mean, it really gave you everything that you really needed to know. It made you want more.
Yep.
So definitely love that movie.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
love that. My
Uh-huh.
my my second up to that I was going to mention because it was kind of a tie for me with that was either between The Void, which I loved that, a creature, sci-fi horror, but then also Raw. Did you ever watch that movie?
I watched Raw. I thought that was
Man,
and
no?
it was okay. I mean, I didn't think it was a horrible movie. I just didn't. It just wasn't. I don't think it was one of my favorites. I don't know.
Okay.
But I did watch it. It didn't. It was okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it was horrible. It wasn't. It
Right.
just didn't do anything for me. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I think it was
what was
it
the
was a
other one you
slow
mentioned?
burn.
Mhm.
The other one was The Void.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, The Void was good. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I love that
Yeah,
one
I
too.
love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah, it
Nice.
was a good
All right, so now
movie.
2017. This one's going to be tough, I have a feeling, but
Yeah, but you know what? I picked one and I'm trying, oh, there it is. I had to pick this because Get Out.
yeah.
It's my
Felicia,
favorite.
I think we're gonna pick the same movies all throughout this.
Get Out. I mean, like, what more is there to say? Socially relevant, just different, out of the park. Um, it's uh, it's a different kind of horror movie, so it's not your
Hmm.
traditional horror movie, but it is a horror movie nonetheless.
Hmm.
Jordan Peele, just such an original idea, executed just so well. And everybody in there in the movie, all the actors were awesome. They really captured the role, especially I can't think of his name. I think his name is on here, but the person that played Chris, the actor that played Chris,
Yeah.
he was, yeah. I don't have anything else
Knocked
to
it out of the
say.
park.
Get Out, knocked it
Yeah,
out of the park.
yeah.
Yes.
I, I
So,
I had like a tie between that and the remake of It, but because
oh,
it was technically a remake, I was like going back and forth, and I was like, you know what, I have to say Get Out because
yeah.
it's one of those things you mentioned, the relevancy behind it, but it's
Mhm.
also one of those things where it's like you can look years and years back and still see that if that was made mid 90s, mid 80s,
Mhm. Mhm.
sadly, it would still be, somewhat of a relevant thing. And,
Right.
it's kind of, hits on a lot of different topics. And like one of the things I really loved about it too was how it took an even more deranged, spin toward the end. You're just like,
Yeah, it's right.
wait, did I miss something? Like, am I going to have to rewind this back a second here? And I'm like, oh my God, probably out of my whole collection, one of the closest to like a near perfect horror movie that I have. So totally agree.
I agree.
Loved it.
All right. I forgot it too. It too was a good remake, and I almost picked that one too. I almost did a tie with that one, but I said no, I got to give it to Get Out. So
now 2018. What'd you have for this one?
2018. I had. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there it is, right here. A Quiet Place.
Ooh,
absolutely
okay.
One of, and to be honest with you, I had it tied with Halloween, but we already had talked about Halloween, so I'm gonna put that down. But I love this movie because it had such a different, even though it's a kind of a monster movie, I guess you would say, but it had such a good plot. It just to think that. And I think it's not something that it could really happen, but what would happen if you couldn't make a sound? How would you live? And I think this caught that perfectly. And Emily Blunt during that pregnancy,
oh yeah.
I mean, oh my God, when she was giving birth and cannot make a noise during one of the most painful things that could happen for a woman. I mean, it was a masterpiece. I loved it. I'm so looking forward to part 2, but it has some big shoes to fill. So yeah, that was my favorite. What about you?
Totally agree. I had to hit on Hereditary. I don't know, it's one of those movies that has gone back and forth. A Quiet Place was certainly up there. Summer of '84 was another one that I really loved. If you saw that one, that was a good one. But Hereditary was, I got it as a Christmas present like years after. Well, I don't know. I guess it must have been 2019 or maybe even last year. Well, no, it wasn't. Anyway, I got it after well after the popularity of the movie and the buzz had, kind of come out. And I started it the day before Christmas. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like watching a little bit of it. And it just stuck in my mind. Like I was just like, what is happening? I couldn't wait to get back. And I watched it kind of in 3 different phases. And it just did not leave me for such a long time. So, and it had so many little Easter eggs where, I'd go back and think, oh, wait, did this mean this? And I go back and watch it again. Yeah. I love that one.
Hereditary. I have to, you know what? I have to watch it again. I think for me, we'll see what I think. I was thinking it was going to be a different type of movie. I didn't know. So so I think I need to give it another watch. I'm not going to sit up here and say it was awful because it definitely wasn't. I just think I need to watch it again. Yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
The one thing I can say too with that also is it made me, along with Get Out and with Us, it was one of those movies where I felt like it was kind of like this newer trend starting where you watch a movie and you have to watch it maybe a couple other times where you're going to notice more and more things and you're going to start putting more and more pieces together, a little bit of it. So that kind of fell into that category too, and absolutely love that one.
I agree. And
what
you're
about
right.
2019? Oh, go ahead.
2019? Oh, okay. So besides Child's Play, I picked, let me see, where is it? Let me see. I gotta find, I'm so unorganized. Okay. To me, 2019 was the weakest of the years besides 2020. So I picked Ready or Not. I thought this was a pretty good movie. Ready or Not. It was actually a tie between this one, that one, and Child's Play. But a lot of people don't like Crawl, so I'm going to go with Ready or Not. I thought this was, I love Crawl. I know people hate on it, but I love Crawl. But Ready or Not, I thought this was a pretty good film. I thought that was a different idea too. I'm all about the plot, and if it doesn't necessarily have to take me somewhere. It has to be this big, has to have a moral message, but
Right.
this definitely kept my attention. I love Samara Weaving, I think that's her name. The last few movies, the Babysitter movies, she's a pretty good actress, one to watch out for. And she was in Mayhem too. So that
Yeah.
was my. What about you?
I love that. I love it. You didn't like Us?
I did. Oh, okay.
Oh,
So yeah, I
Alicia.
did. No. I did, but it just wasn't. I mean, I bought it, so I did. I mean, I think that's a movie that I have to watch again. I mean,
Okay.
I liked it, but I was kind of like, okay. That's how I look at it. I was just like, okay. So, but
Oh
it
man.
didn't. The relevance, it is relevant. There are parts in there that I absolutely love. I do think that once I watch it again, like it's been a year or two after it's been out. So I think if I watch it again, I might feel differently. But I just was kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I was wanting more. So yeah.
Right. Okay.
Is that your
Got ya.
favorite?
Got ya. That was a close one, but I had to say Midsummer.
Oh,
That
okay.
was
Okay.
with Ari Aster. He was the director. I think he hit him and Jordan Peele. I think
Mhm.
both captivated me with their first movies to where they're gonna have to drift off pretty far and do some pretty goofy shit for me to not probably be really into it, like being completely honest, because
Okay.
even Midsummer, I initially watched that in theater, and I remember like texting my wife after. I was like, that movie was not good. Like, I was not
Yeah.
into that at all. But
Yeah.
then once again, I started thinking of these different things. I went online to like Reddit and started reading different like underlying meanings of things and
Mhm.
paintings that were in the background. I went back and watched it again. I'm like, oh my God, loved
Mhm. Okay.
it. So I absolutely love that one. And then
And
now that brings, oh, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, I was gonna say though, I appreciated Midsummer too. I liked it better than his. And he's the one that did what was his first movie? I don't think I liked his first movie.
Hereditary.
All right, yeah. So maybe those are two movies that I need to watch again. But I did
Mhm.
like Midsommar better than Hereditary. I will say that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think I need to watch Hereditary again.
Yeah. Okay. This brings us to 2020. This is an interesting one. I can't wait to see what you got for this one.
Well, there is one movie that I don't own, it's not out yet, that I thought kind of captured 2020. Host. That was my favorite movie of 2020.
Oh yeah.
Host, about the
Okay.
one, yeah. And well, and The Invisible Man. But Host, I
Okay.
think The Invisible Man was also awesome, and I do have that movie. But for something about Host, I think because we've been locked down inside with COVID happening, I could actually see that actually happen. Like as far as a group of people having a seance, not the things that
Hmm.
happen afterwards. But I thought that touched so much on what's going on. So for what's going on now with being home, using technology to get in touch with people, to friends getting together that way. I thought Host kind of represented where we are now
Hmm.
in the country, or in the nation, or whatever, globally. So I just thought that touched that hit all the right notes. Now, The Invisible Man, I thought was awesome. Also, my problem with The Invisible Man is I thought it was so long. It kind of like
Yeah.
but it had to be. So it had to be because you had to see how it would. It was like a puzzle. So all these pieces had to come together for it to get to where it was. But I just thought that was my
Right.
only thing about The Invisible Man. I also like Freaky too. I thought Freaky was awesome. I
Yeah.
thought Vince Vaughn did a really good job playing the young woman. I thought that was she was just ice cold as a killer. I thought that was a totally different spectrums. You have Host, I know, The Invisible Man, Freaky, three different movies, but those were the ones that really spoke to me in 2020.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
And all really, really good too. It was hard because I've seen so many different people. So I'll just say it right out front, Color Out of Space. So many people have put that on their 2020 list. And I don't know, did you watch that one?
I saw that. That was awesome. I liked it. I really dug it. And that just,
the scene when the mom and the child, if you haven't seen this, I guess get out of this video right now. The scene where those two end up getting conjoined was it just the sounds that they're making, and I was just like, oh, like literally stomach turning. Like, it was bothering me. Like, it was stop.
And I totally agree with you. That was an awesome movie. I don't know why I didn't pick that. I don't have any excuse to say it was not. It was an awesome movie. You are absolutely right. It was great.
A lot of people had said that it was from 2019 too. So I was like, I'm going back and forth because I guess it was technically physically released in 2020, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to be official here. I'm trying not to look like a damn goofball, but I said freaky because my wife and I were talking about watching that, and just recently we watched, God, what was it called? Jawbreaker. You ever watch that from the 90s?
Yes. Rose McGowan. Yep.
Yeah. So I thought it was like kind of along those lines of like a teeny, like chick movie, like high school or something. And then Vince Vaughn comes in and this killing happens. I'm like, holy shit, this is gory. Like, what is this? She's like, well, it's a horror movie. Didn't you know? I'm like, I did not.
I know now.
Yeah, I know that. Here we are, boy. Loved it. Oh my God.
I agree. Yeah. Freaky to me and Host. Yeah. Those are two awesome ones.
I feel like all in all, the last 5 years, there were some pretty good horror movies that came out. A lot of, some things as far as, with like the Halloweens that they're going to be doing with remakes, but also a lot of really cool original content as well. And, a lot of stuff coming up as well. And I did want to say, too, for 2020, unofficially, I think my favorite movie is going to be Psycho Gorman. Have you heard of that movie?
No, what is that?
Oh, my God. So it's the guy, well, one of the directors of The Void. He made this movie where basically the way that he describes it is like when you were a little kid and you had all these different figures from like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joes and a Barbie and this and this, and it just all of these like creatures, these two kids basically summon a demon, and all of these different creatures from like different universes come, and they have to like fight them off with this one nice one that they found.
Oh, is it out? Can you?
It comes out February 22nd. Technically, it was supposed to come out this last year, but didn't for whatever reason. And it embodies like anything ridiculous from like the 80s that you just absolutely loved, and it looks amazing. I cannot wait to see it.
Okay, cool. Look for the trailer. Yeah. With that being said, you looking forward to? Besides that, are you looking forward to any other movies coming out in 2021?
It's kind of hard. I mean, the new Halloween, I'm really, really excited for. I didn't want it to seem like I was like completely shitting on it because I loved like in the 2018, I really loved like the one thing in particular was that really long pan scene where he's going between the houses and he like stabs a girl between or like through the neck. Holy shit. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes from that to what is it, Halloween Ends? Is that the last one?
I think so. Yep. Halloween Ends.
I can't really think of any other that are coming out, this year. Oh, I mean, Godzilla vs. King Kong. I can't wait for that.
I am so excited for that movie. I am so excited. I'm so ready. Oh my God, that looks awesome.
What about you? Are there others?
Yeah, I was thinking Antlers. I saw the trailer for that, and I don't know what the hell. To be honest with you, I can't tell you what the hell it's about. It just looks so creepy. It looks good. It looks crazy. I don't know. And it could be another The Lodge. I mean, I thought The Lodge was okay. I didn't think it was like, it was all right. But or it could be an awesome film. So I don't know. Right. That one, it was, I'm trying to think, what were the other, it was a couple other ones that I was looking forward to. and they get away from me right now. I was like, I'm trying to think. No, I was trying to, because I'm looking behind you because I have my Instagram page up, so I'm just looking at. Oh, okay.
Oh
So
yeah.
A Quiet
Okay.
Place Part 2,
Yeah.
Candyman, of course. Spiral, the
Oh
Saw
yeah,
movie.
Candyman. I forgot about that.
Candyman, yep. And so those
Yeah.
are the ones that I'm kind of. I think it's one called Last Night in Soho. I saw the trailer for that. That looks pretty interesting. But yeah,
Okay.
those are the ones. Really, the new Saw with Chris Rock, Quiet Place Part 2, and
Oh yeah.
Candyman, and
Okay.
The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. So we'll see.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We'll see if they'll.
There's
Yeah, it's a lot coming out. But I think for us horror lovers, that we'll have a lot to choose from because a lot that was supposed to come out last year is coming out this year, and I hope they just keep it coming because last year was like okay until COVID hit.
right, right,
Yeah.
right. Oh my lord! All right. Well, look, this is ending the base of the interview here. We do have one
Okay.
last finale question, but this is your
Yes.
opportunity just to give some people some shout outs or just what you have coming up on your page. This is your opportunity, Felicia.
Okay. So I don't do like a lot of special events, but some people I would like to just shout out are, of course, I did already Terrell 88, J Philly 73, Donna the Dead. Oh, there's so many people. I feel like I'm going to forget people and they're going to be mad at me. Um, I know. Holiday Horrors, Bonner, Bonnaroo. I'm not saying her name, but her page name incorrectly. Let me think.
It
There's
happens.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna Bonnie. I'm sorry, Bonnie. I'm trying to think. Is there anybody else? I'm forgetting people. Oh my God. Yeah, I think that's it for now. But for me, I just want to just personally say thank you to the people that have subscribed to me. You don't know me. I don't post my picture a lot. So for me to step out like this is a big deal because I like to stay in the shadows. And I just want to say thank you for even thinking of me to interview because like I said, I'm kind of a quiet, like introverted person. So this is a lot until you get me talking about horror, then I can't stop talking. And thank you. I'm just so appreciative. I'm appreciative for people that even think enough to follow me because I don't personally think I'm an interesting person, but just keep just thank you. I'm just very humbled. I'm very humbled. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That like I said earlier, that was where this whole show started, and it kind of spawned to a whole different thing now. But there's so many really really cool people on here, and people from all over the world that I've gotten to speak with, and just a lot of really really cool pages, and everybody has a story. It's just interesting hearing as far away and as different the theme and image might be, how similar and how much we all have on common in here as well. So
Yes.
this is really really cool, and I appreciated you being able to take the time and do this because I love
Thank
your
you.
page and
Thank
often
you.
shout you out and include you in tags, and so
Thank
keep
you.
up the work, of course.
And I need to know how to do stories so I can shout out more people because I did a horrible job here tonight. So I'm going to get on that for 2021.
All right, well,
Thank
there you
you
go.
so much.
Absolutely. All right, so for this finale, I was trying to do a little bit of digging, and I think I hit on a good idea going through your page there. So it's going to be themed with Halloween. Okay, so we have the new movie coming out. It is Halloween Ends, I guess. That's the third one.
Mm-hmm.
So Halloween Kills comes out. So now we're going to go into the hypothetical situation that you got hired for Halloween Ends. All right. So now we're going to say you got a role. You got a role in Halloween Ends, and they ask you, Felicia, would you like, or do you want to live? Do you want to be one of the characters that goes all the way through, or do you want to die? And you say that you want to die. How do you want to die if they said that you could die in a Halloween movie?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, well, that is a crazy question because I definitely want to die in a Halloween movie. So you were right. I don't know. It has to be I have to get stabbed by Michael some kind of way. I don't I don't even know what to say. I'm gobsmacked right now. Shit. Probably I'm gonna say in a traditional way because I'm a traditionalist when it comes to Halloween. So maybe
Nice and old school,
yeah, like
nothing too
old school,
crazy.
like just like stab me, like and then I'm dead on the floor or wherever he stabs me. I don't want to be in any place kind of like off key, or definitely don't want to get killed off camera. No, I want to be on camera. I want the blood. I want the gore. I want to be looking at him like, oh, and then just 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 pass on away. I don't want to fight. I just want it to be like a total surprise. He jumps out at me, and then I'm done. Like So I guess that would be I just want to die the old traditional way. Don't do anything special for me. That's
Oh,
where I want. That's kind of like how I want to end it. Yeah. So
okay. So let me ask you this. So there's a part two to this question. All right. So
yes.
in this movie, if you got to choose who your co-actor and co-actress were, who are you going to have in it with you? Anybody you want.
Oh, definitely. I have to have Jamie Lee somewhere. I mean, they are not already in the movie, but if she like,
Not right.
I want to meet her. So I definitely want her to like come and yeah, to discover me like you bastard, Michael. But anyway, but yeah, so definitely Jamie Lee Curtis. And because she's so iconic, she's my favorite. One of my favorite actresses, definitely my favorite screen queen. And I'm trying to think who. Oh, you're gonna laugh at this, but Denzel Washington. Can he be in the movie
Oh
somewhere?
my.
Because he's never done a horror movie, so I think it would be interesting to
Oh my
see
God.
how he would act in the Halloween world. So that would be my two.
Look,
Definitely.
you mentioning Denzel, that's why the movie is called Halloween Ends, because he's gonna kill the motherfucker. Like the movie's
Right.
done.
He's done. He's done.
you, you can't tell me you're gonna put him in the movie and Michael Myers is gonna make it to a sequel. It's
Yes,
not
that's
gonna
right.
happen.
That would be awesome. Oh my God. I don't know what part he would play, but I would love to have him in that movie. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. All right. Well, look, Felicia, this has been so fun. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Keep on doing what you're doing because I appreciate it and I know so many other people do. Just keep being you. Have fun with all this.
Thank you, and thank you to the people that watched. And yeah, this has been an awesome experience. You made me feel so welcome and at home. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is going to it'll be edited and then should be on my YouTube channel on Friday. I'll send you a link. So if you want to
Thank
post it
you.
up or whatnot. But yeah, this has been so fun. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of your
All
evening.
right, you as well. Everybody, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy, Fsanders2. Check her page out. Follow her if you haven't. This has been awesome. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi, a horror guy. Yeah.